The law is clear. Section 11 of the North Carolina General Statute 153-67 and Sim versus United States 1979. It is clear that students have the right to vote and seek office where they attend school.
That's right.
That's right.
Pete Gilbert has continuously attempted to challenge this law and intimidate students from voting.
That's right.
The Board of Elections in Pasquotank County has clearly shown the intent to disenfranchise African American students in this city from their right to vote that was granted by the 15th Amendment to the Constitution. The NAACP will send a letter from Pasquotank County Commissioners and the State Board of Election and the governor requesting the removal of these board members who choose to ignore this law.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
We want the message to be clear that this will not be tolerated, that students and all citizens have the right to vote.
40% of the people in this state that are 18 to 24 years of age are minorities. 40%. In 1979, United States Supreme Court affirmed in United States versus Texas that there was an attempt to they held unconstitutional the denial of Prairie View students of the presumption of bona fide residency.
These college students after the 60s and 70s were beginning to get politicized, beginning to make some noise down in Texas, almost as bad as North Carolina at that time. Some of the same Republicans tried to stop kids from voting when they were on college campus. Went all the way to the Supreme Court. Very clear issue, a race discrimination issue.
That's right.
Prairie View, as you know, was a historically black college also. And the Supreme Court said, no! As clear as you can get, two letters, N-O, you cannot do that.
That's right.
And that's been the law.
That's right. So the law is already etched in the framework of America. The right of the citizen of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state. Which means any county, any city, any board of election on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. Section 11 of the North Carolina General Statute says that students have a right to claim their home as their college where they are in residency, and that the state cannot deny this right. Your own paper here has said that the intent of this board and this chairman, Mr. Gilbert, has twisted the current case into an argument that ECSU residence halls are not valid domiciles. But the reality is he's wrong on the law. He's wrong on history, and he's wrong when it comes to these students having a right to full protection under our Constitution.
ECSU's NAACP's president is not just behind Montravias King. It is for the justice and the voting rights of our students. As taught to us by our mothers, mentors, and teachers, we have to stand up for our rights as young leaders.
Yeah, that's right.
We are here today as part of an investigative team to look into what we deem as a direct assault on students' voting rights, as well as a direct violation of the Constitution of these United States. After record participation of college students in GOP Chairman Pete Gilbert has been involved in leading regressive attacks on the students, electorate here in Pasquotank County. This has come in the form of challenges to students as they try to exercise their right to vote, as well as attempting to block our brother Montravias King from exercising his right to run in an election.
Yeah. This is a defining moment in history.
Yes, it is.
Well, and I realize that this is bigger than my candidacy for City Council. This is about every person's, and specifically college students' rights to participate in our government. We realize that we stand on the shoulders of greatness and sacrifice.
That's right, that's right.
And I am proud to let you all know that we will continue to campaign.
That's right, that's right.
Moving forward together, stronger than ever.
Now, Mr. Gilbert has said, and I understand he's quoted this, that he's going to take his show on the road. Well, we have a word for him, and a word for any politician, any elected person, any appointed person that would attempt to deny our right, abridge our right to vote. This is no show. And Mr. Gilbert, evidently you don't know history. Maybe you haven't studied over here in Elizabeth City with some of these good history professors. But there is no show you can take on the road, because this is no show. This is about the substance of the Constitution.
That's right.
No show. This is no game. This is about the right to vote that people died for, that people bled for, that people cried for. And we should be encouraging students to vote, not denying them the right to vote. We ought to be proud of our students. Civic engagement should be a part of our education. We should be lifting up these students who at a young age want to give back to North Carolina and give back to America and give back to this community.
We fight for our ancestors of NAACP.
That's right.
We fight for our mothers and families. We fight for the history of our illustrious university and their dealings with Pasquotank County.
Students led in the civil rights movement. They led the voting rights movement. Freedom Summer 1964, students, black, white, brown, Christian, and Jewish, led. Swanner, Cheney, and Goodman died, brutally were killed. Many others died. And so we say to the governor of this state, to the extreme members of the Republican Party of this state, to Mr. Gilbert and any other member or chair of a board of election, we don't intend to allow this board of election to trample through the blood of the martyrs. You haven't seen a fight until you try to take our voting rights. You haven't seen a fight until you try to undermine our students' abilities, the right to vote. You haven't seen a fight, I'm old enough to say this now, until you try to stop my children from being able to vote. You haven't seen a battle, because this is one we will fight and we will win. And
this is bigger than my candidacy. This is about students' rights to vote. If I can vote here in Elizabeth City, then I should be able to run here in Elizabeth City. Viking pride, Viking vote.
While we are nonpartisan and do not endorse any, we in the Youth and College recognize that this is bigger than one individual. The right for every individual to exercise their right to vote and participate in the election process is something we will stand for and we will contend for from now and forevermore. As they said, too much blood has been spilled. You are messing with our foreparents. Our grandfather had to fight. My father is fighting now. And if you think on my watch, I'm gonna let you touch my voting rights without a fight, you got another thing coming.
And so these attacks on Elizabeth City State, but they're also attacking Appalachian State. We got a report about Winston-Salem State. We see this as a vulgar attempt, a conspiracy that traces all the way to the omnibus bill passed by this legislature, coordinated conspiracy. When Senator Apodaca said that after the ruling by the Supreme Court that now the headache was out of the way and they unleashed all of this regressive voter suppression.
July, the Republicans took over every board of election. There's 100 of them. There's 100 counties, 100 board of elections in North Carolina. None of them actually, there are very few of the boards really wanted a whole lot of students and black people and Latino people and poor people to vote. No, everybody liked the status quo where they can kind of hold things down.
Go ahead now.
And suddenly there's this new movement. We call it democracy, in case Mr. Gilbert has never heard of that word either. We call it democracy, where people stand up and get engaged and get empowered. They learn stuff at these schools. That's a good thing. Amen. We want that.
Amen.
That's why we have a public school system that the Republicans want to destroy.
That's right. But I stand here today finally to say they are trying to suppress the vote and they're trying to spread it like an anti-democratic cancer. But we are the surgeons. And we will surgically remove it with the power of the Constitution and our moral protest so that America, so that North Carolina will be healthy, a healthy democracy where everybody's rights are protected. So it is, and so it shall be.